Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whatever it is when you watch this. And welcome to another episode of Obie Acres. I haven't done any videos in quite a while. I've been busy. We have a lot of stuff going on, not related to the farm, but just in general. We're actually in the process of building a new house. It'll be a year or two project, a couple of years. So I've been busy planning for that with my son transitioning to the farm, and it's going to be a slow process, but we're planning for the future. But in this episode, I was going to go over my son of a new purchase, and it's a crazy story, but he's got quite a bit of hay to make, like 15 acres, which is quite a bit if you're making small squares or even round bales. We've always kind of wanted a smaller cab tractor, and his buddy saw this ad on Facebook, and he went and looked at it, and he purchased a Ford 6700, and I'm in the process of fixing all the little things that needs fixed, and he's probably gonna paint it. I mean, the paint's just faded, but it needs some work, but he got a really good deal on it. I mean, that's the reason he bought it, because it was priced right. But the funny story is, it was over an hour away from us. But as soon as he told me where it was, I knew all about the tractor. I had a lot of history. So it turns out, when I was working over that way, I worked with a guy, and he was making hay, and he asked me what kind of tractor he would buy. To buy, because he didn't farm or nothing. He just had this little field of hay he wanted to make. They had horses, and he saw this. I don't know if he saw the tractor for sale, but he asked me about it. So however, as far as a small cab tractor, back then nobody else made. That Ford was like the first one to make the smaller tractors with nice cabs on them. Most of the manufacturers just had the larger tractors with cabs. Sometimes the guys would put cabs on the smaller ones, but they were, aftermarket cabs are crappy. But Ford was one of the first ones to put the smaller cabs on the smaller tractors, and you could even get it on the real small ones, like the one outside here is my buddy's tractor. I did a video on a while ago, and we're working on this baler. He brought it over, and it's a 7600, which they're okay. They've made a lot of them 6600s, 7600s, even 4600s, which is even smaller than that. But these have the 4-cylinder Ford, and the problem with them, you straddle the transmission, which is a little bit harder to get in and out of. Well, actually a lot harder. This is a flat deck, just like my TW20. The cab is exactly the same as my TW20, and it has the same dual power. And it's nice, easy to get in and out. But this thing shifts like a dream. And it's got a little bit nicer seat in it, which is the seats in these. He put new cushions on it, I guess. The seats in these tractors aren't as nice, but it needs a cab kit. It does not have air conditioning, but I'll probably put air conditioning in it, since I've done that before. It won't cost that much to do. But right now I just took the hoods off because there was a dent in the front, and I straightened the dent out, and the lights, the one light wasn't working, the wire was chewed off in the side, and these lights need wired up. But I'm gonna take it outside here, and once I get it back together, and blow it off with the air. But it needs this wheel. He wants to put new wheels on it and tires, which that ain't cheap, but it's a really clean tractor. They had calcium in the tires, and that always eats the rims out, so he's looking for some used ones. But for making hay, these are phenomenal tractors for making hay, because they're nice and tight. I mean, he can't afford a new one, we'd like to have a newer one. But these Ford cabs are pretty nice they're not as nice as the other ones. I know it's a Ford, but they're pretty damn, when they come out with these Q cabs, they're pretty damn nice. They're pretty comfortable for this, and that little 4-cylinder diesel engine, Ford engine is by far, well, I don't say by far, but I think it's the most fuel efficient tractor engine out there. I mean, that 5000 of mine's got about the same engine, and I think the displacement's a little more in these. They changed something, but I mean, you can run that thing all day on 20 gallon of diesel. And this is a little more horsepower, maybe 10 more in the 5000, like 75. But it's great for making hay if you got a small round bed or a small square. But even for putting it on the mower conditioner, it's a nice little tractor. Or raking. Once we get air conditioning in, it'll be nice. But I mean, you're out there raking all day in the heat. It's nice to have even if you don't have air conditioning, these windows open up pretty nice, and you keep the sun off of you at least. But and they're pretty quiet cabs too. I think it needs insulation, but I don't know if he's gonna paint it right now. He's working on a skid loader right now. He's completely overhauling it. He overhauled the engine. He had the engine out. It's out right there because it had some issues, a water pump, and then it had a bunch of leaks inside here, and he's fixing all the diesel. The fuel pump was leaking, so we took that and had it rebuilt. He's just trying to fix everything and get it finished, painting it right now. But then there was a bunch of hydraulic leaks, and just he wants to get it. I think he's going to keep it for a while. I don't know, but this thing here, he might. I don't know. I always kind of wanted one of these. I didn't really have a big use for it because I don't have anything I need a small tractor like that for. I mean, even my sprayer. At one time, it would have been nice when I had a smaller sprayer to pull sprayer with, but that bigger 1,000-gallon tank on the back of that sprayer, when you're going down the road full, it's nice to have that little extra weight and the horsepower. You do need, when it's full, when you're going up a hill, if you got any hills to go up, and especially if it's a little soft in the field, you need that horsepower. But and this don't have the tall tires on it anyhow. Well, I still use my Massey for spraying, but they're nice tractors, and he was tickled to death to get it. And my buddy, when he bought it, I remember when I advised him to buy it, and as soon as it's just weird that I'm really good friends with the guy. I mean, I worked with him for 10 years, and we were pretty close. And then he told me what town it was. I said, "What's his last name?" And right away I knew who it was. And I mean, he took pretty good care of it. It's a nice little track, and you know. He hadn't used it. He hadn't made hay in a while, so he didn't use it a lot, just like scraping the driveway and stuff. But we got in it, and the power steering didn't work. Well, it was out of power steering was low on oil, so we put some oil, and the power steering works fine. I don't really see it leaking. I don't know why it was low, but sometimes they can leak into the engine, and you run engine oil in it anyhow, so it don't matter. But there's a seal. You got to. If it ain't leaking much, you don't have to really worry about it. But over time, it could leak out. But yeah, it's a nice little tractor. It's a 6700, which is what you want. A 6700 and a 7700 are the same thing. The 7700 just is turbocharged. I think that's the only difference. Then they had the 10 series was the newer. The next series with the hydraulics were a little faster on them, I think, and I don't know what other. Then they had a 6710 Series 2 with the Series 2 cab. It's the same cab. They just the upholstery is not a little bit is black, and they put the different top on the cab. It looked neater than a lot of the stuff. There's more electric instead of the manual dual power. It was electric over hydraulic, and this is more trouble free. And the dual power was stuck, and I come home and took a pry bar and pried it and got it working, and it worked fine. It works fine. He hadn't used it. It just was stuck down a little bit. So everything works in it, which that's a plus. And then we'll decide if we're going to put air in it this year or not. I'm just fixing these broken wires, and well, that's what we're up to on OB Acres these days, and getting ready for spring planting. I got all the tractors serviced. Well, the 8770, I haven't serviced that yet, but it didn't really have a lot of hours on it last year. But I think I'm probably going to go ahead and change the oil here in one of these days. I've just been busy with the house. We're living in one of the houses that we owned. I renovated that, did some work to that, so I've been busy with that kind of stuff. But I want to get the planter out and hook to the A770 because I want to check some things on it because I had some trouble with it last year not planting right. I want to check all my vacuums and everything, but I never did finish my series on Obie Acres tractors past and present, but I might do that at some point, finish that up. So that's what we're doing. And we've been working on the other property where we're going to build, and I don't want to talk about that, or, you know, there's a lot of stuff we have, lights and stuff we have to do, and I'll maybe show some pictures of it at some point. But I like to focus on the farm stuff on my channel, and I don't want to get sidetracked. And even though it might be something people want to see, but it's just, I just do what I do. I'm not doing it for money or nothing like that. I just like sharing my tractors. Mostly, I've become somewhat of a Ford expert in this area, and guys bring their Fords. A couple of my one buddy out there, and my other neighbor, he bought one, a 7710, and which we would have liked to have, but he brought that over, and I did a bunch of work to it. There was some leaks on it and stuff I fixed, and air conditioning and that. So I do like working on them. I like the Fords are simple to work on. Everybody has their choice, and the really only knock on the Fords, in my opinion, is the engines. Some people don't like the engines because they're parent bore blocks, but they had to run them where the Porsche blocks, they had like the TW20 has got a new engine in it, but I think there was just a period of years there where their manufacturing was subpar. But these, for example, my 5000 has got the original engine in it. That's a 1967, and it's got over 6,000 hours on it. And this one has a lot of hours, and it's original. But they're really fuel efficient, and you can rebuild them. You just got to bore them out and sleeve them. You got to take in the machine shop, which ain't as easy. But you know, a lot of times I've heard this argument about it's not a sleeved engine, blah blah blah. Well, sleeve engines have their issues too. You got your O-rings go bad, and a lot of times they go to overhaul them. Sometimes you just can't drop sleeves in them. They have to take them somewhere, have somebody come out, and you got to machine the tops because the top ain't gonna be, is it flat or I forget what the term is, where the sleeves fit in. If that ain't right, your sleeves won't seal to the head. I mean, them aren't trouble free either. They all have their issues. Some guys I've seen on YouTube where they end up putting a brand, like the Cummins, they'll buy a reman. Well, I thought the idea of them was they're easy to overhaul. So, I mean, I could just buy a new engine for this too. What's the difference? You know, it'll last forever. I mean, I've never touched any of mine, so I don't understand why they think that's. I mean, it has its pros and cons. I think once you get to the higher horsepower engines, up above 200 horse, you almost have to have wet sleeves to keep them cool. You know, the more horsepower you got, if you don't, because that was one of the issues with the original Genesis engines in the 70 series new Fords or New Hollands when they came out, was they said they had a little too much horsepower, like the 89 70s, and they were burning pistons up because they're a dry sleeve engine, and they got too hot. So you get up to that 200 and some horsepower range, you got to have that wet sleeve. I think. I'm not an expert on it, but anyhow, that's my take on it. And but as far as operating these tractors, you won't find an easier tractor to operate. This thing shifts so darn easy. It's just incredible how easy it goes. It shifts in all the gears and the parking brake. I like the way this one's set up. My TW20 doesn't have. You can lock the brake, but you don't have to because it's got a park. This one don't have the park haul. You just push the brakes down, and then it has a thing you pull out. Like my 5000 is the same way, but it works really good. So, I'll show some progress on this as I go. So, just wanted to show you this, and so you know I'm still alive. So, everybody enjoy. Hopefully, everybody has a good spring planting and haymaking season, or whatever you're doing. And I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.